to this because for those of you that don't know, I do finance for a living, and I've been like trying to go and do something on FaZe Clan. I've been thinking about doing a little thing on FaZe Clan, so um, yeah, let's go and react to this because it's kind of interesting the way Ludwig talks about it. And yeah, for those of you all interested in this, FaZe was supposed to go public here earlier this year. Yeah, and they've held off. They had to refile a bunch of financials, and I think this contributes to why Ludwig is going and talking about this. So want to watch it, react a little bit, give my take. Obviously, Ludwig's an amazing streamer, and FaZe, of course, trying still to go public. So if you guys want to go and I'm thinking about doing a YouTube series all about FaZe Clan and like how esports works and how the business is extremely similar to record labels in a way. But here, let's do it.
The second greatest mystery on earth is how baseball players get paid so much damn money. I don't get it. I went to my first game today. The game's boring as hell. The tickets were $5, but the seats were still empty. Nobody was there. It's 4 hours of nothingness with maybe 3 or 4 hits in between. The fans spent most of the time spending $20 on shitty light beer and chugging it than actually watching the game. The greatest mystery on earth, however, is how FaZe Clan hasn't gone bankrupt yet. They've been trying to go public for a while to get buku bucks, but it hit a little bit of a roadblock when they had to
Yeah, they had to refile earnings before. So this is a big financial jargon. They projected $9.7 million in essentially things before their net income, and it ended up being they fell short of it. Revised, they obviously had a net loss and negative metric called EBITDA.
File because their estimates were off by $10 million.
Which, by the way, for SPACs happens all the time because SPACs are really risky investments. They're normally young companies that are trying to go public via what's known as a reverse merger. So in the SPAC industry, rarely do they ever go public profitable. Rarely do most IPOs that aren't well-developed businesses ever also have what's known as positive net income, which is essentially your profits after all your operational expenses.
But they had a good reason. It's because productions cost a lot of money, and they do some cool productions, namely FaZe 1. It's their newest show. It's basically whittling down the entirety of the world to one new FaZe member, an open casting call. The winner gets $1 million in crypto.
How many of you guys watch this, by the way, all the FaZe 1 stuff?
Coinbase or Crypto.com competitor. New Nissan GTR, which is probably just one of FaZe Rug's millions of cars, or $250,000 from a Ghost sponsorship. I think they get all that. Honestly, pretty cool for a small creator to get. And not only that, they get to join FaZe. And what you might ask, are they doing to whittle it all down? Well,
$1
they
million
had like
in
a few
crypto,
challenges
really?
to get it down to 20, and they took those 20 people and then put them in a warehouse for a contest. If it sounds confusing, you're not alone. Okay, this is FaZe Temper. He's one of the owners of FaZe, and this is him explaining his own company's show.
Yeah.
I think there's contestants from like Italy and stuff. Some people were telling me.
Yeah, I'm not sure where everybody's from, but yeah, there's Italy.
Yeah.
I think there might be. Yeah, I'm not really
else.
sure where
How
all they're
did
from.
the contestants get to this point? Like how did you apply? Like how did it all go down?
So we had a lot of challenges, and we narrowed down a list from all the contestants. There was like a couple hundred thousands.
Wow.
I don't remember, like a few hundred thousands maybe.
Okay, yeah. All right, they had 100.
What is Outplay? You play and it records. You can choose
Sorry,
exactly
guys.
what you want it to record, whether it be kills, assists.
I always skip the ads.
Hundreds of thousands, and now
Ludwig's
there's
not
20.
missing the
That's
ad
all
rev.
that matters. There's 20, and they threw all these 20 people in the warehouse. Yeah. Woo! Look at this. What? Dang. Honestly, it looks really cool. They probably spent a couple $100,000, not a few $100,000, just on the set design for the warehouse. It's huge. But what do you do? What do 20 people do in a warehouse together? This is kind of vague. Well, they had the bright idea to live stream it. Not a bad idea. It's the hardest job on earth. But they had the bright idea to live stream every second of every day, for 15 days straight. Yeah.
And I'll go and say this when you actually read when FaZe dropped their public investor deck. One of the things that they talked about was their ability to go and do big productions. They want to go and do more productions, more kind of taking their members IRL content and making essentially YouTube shows out of them, and like doing more of like the brand collective shows like this. So I guess this was also kind of like a tester for them to see could huge productions like this work at the same time.
15
And why
days
not?
straight
It's a
of live
contest, so
streaming,
why not try
20
and
people. Kind of like a
do
reality
this as
show,
the big test?
but without all the editing that makes it like juicy and drama-y, and without the talking head parts. Like an uncut CCTV version of Big Brother. And it's about what you'd expect.
100% it is, bro.
Kind of boring. I mean, like, look, it's just people sitting and trying to fill the time on camera. I don't know. I've done this before. Without the clock next to my face, people don't really give a shit. Human lives are generally kind of boring.
Pretty crazily, you know.
So it's a lot of showing off the people's personalities, them sitting around. But the shots
probably
look
a
good. I mean,
mistake
it
by
looks like a
them was-
reality show. It probably would be better if it was edited. But look,
I agree. They shouldn't have done a 24/7 live stream. No one cares that much about what they're doing at 3 a.m.
don't take my word for it. Look at the results. It has about 2,800 average viewers, even though it probably costs millions and millions of dollars to produce in prize pooling and in production and everything. There still were a few amazing moments. This is my favorite one by far. Let's just roll this clip.
Honestly, I think your accent's kind of getting a little bit fucking annoying, if I can be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, just a
I
little bit.
didn't ask for your opinion, so crazy how that goes.
Yeah, right.
Moving on.
Just a little bit.
Wait, what happened?
That's fire. She couldn't have been quicker with the comeback, too. But, you know, as are humans, there's also some weirder, more awkward moments.
I would if I was on the E-Day, so I'd take her on a nice sushi date. Do you like movies? Like drive-in movies?
He's talking about taking her on a date.
I like when I'm friends with someone first and I kind of get
Okay.
a feel for
So
how they
what if
are,
what if
and then
what
maybe.
if like we just hung out like just friends?
I don't know, maybe.
Like
Yeah.
what if like we got in the hot tub, but it was like you're over there and I'm over here.
What they should have done was just 12-hour streams
5 feet apart, because it's
and
not
then
gay.
create the series afterwards of all their
Hot tub
down
stream?
footage.
No, I'm not.
They're asking that.
No, but like what if
I mean, it was
you're
cool
on
that you got to
outside
interact with
and-
them on
and-
Twitch
and
chat and
we
stuff
just
like that,
talk.
but
friends, complete friends.
Just as an L for that? Okay,
So,
buddy.
so if we said it on
We'd be a W duo. That's
oh yeah,
for sure.
we would.
Not a W three-pointer, not gonna lie. So, you know, that's one of the moments. And there's also some contestants that are creating some controversy, like Tommy. This is something he posted that I thought painted Tommy better than any video could. Roadside in Wisconsin making a video about my mom to honor her passing in the middle of nowhere. I find
Thank
some
you, Aspen.
G fuel. The best way to find your future is to reconcile your past. Boss. Hashtag G Fuel. Hashtag acting like Tommy. And then his G Fuel link, which is probably the craziest G Fuel plug I've ever seen in my life.
Jesus Christ.
So, you know, he's not so much the favorite.
Gotta use that code, I guess.
But then disaster struck. Everybody's favorite reality show, when one of the contestants was found to have COVID. Not just one of the contestants, the favorite to win it, Potter. They had to eliminate him from the top 20
Oof.
because he's got COVID. You don't want to keep him around. He's going to give other people COVID. And it was a huge bummer. There was outcry to bring him back, but he wasn't the only one. Ernsto also got COVID, tested positive, and had to leave the warehouse. Now, generally, I think it's supposed to be like a challenge happens, and then fans vote, or maybe judges vote. It's all kind of vague, and that's how you find the one winner from the 20. But COVID was knocking people out like flies, and the winner was going to be the one who was still wearing a mask. And
Oof.
this is Ernsto.
Guys, I'm
Big
sure
oof.
as most of you know by now, I tested positive for COVID, and that means I can't go further in the Phase 1 competition.
Honestly, heartbreaking stuff. It's a small creator who just wanted his shot at joining FaZe. He said it was his dream, which I totally believe, and there's a lot on the line there. And look,
There was,
a
yeah.
5% chance to join FaZe is pretty damn good.
It's better than most of us will
But
ever
lucky
get.
for Ernsto, and maybe unlucky for FaZe, somebody else got COVID. And finally, they're like, okay, we're not going to let like 18 people get COVID and then just give the winner in a coin flip. We're going to end the event for now and then restart it later. basically flushing hundreds of thousands of dollars in production down a toilet. And maybe you're thinking,
And that's a good point. I specialize in the media industry as one of my specialties in finance, and I can't tell you how much money was lost just from COVID stoppages. It took Halo, the Paramount series. They did 2 seasons. They were in Budapest in Hungary for like 3 years doing all the filming. Or it should have taken them a year and a half because COVID would happen. They'd have to shut down production, keep it up. I know Stranger Things got pushed back because of COVID. So many movies got delayed because of COVID in the middle of filming, in between filming sessions. Like, this wasn't just FaZe's fault. It happened across huge shows that cost even more money. I mean, because production costs, it's so much money. It's unbelievable. I mean, movies with $100 million budgets had to add on money because COVID, they had to go into overtime. It was a whole big thing.
oh no, that's so sad. FaZe is almost going to have to refile one more time and be like, we lost even more money. They're not that cut up about it. I don't know exactly who this is, but somebody in the FaZe warehouse was still mic'd up, and they didn't know they were, and they got caught saying this.
They're talking about COVID, so everyone's running over to demic them. Live stream fails, baby. We're going to have so many viewers when this shit comes back.
Talking about how people on live stream fails are making posts about how they got COVID, and they're going to get so many viewers when they come back because all the hype, because the COVID announcement. But if I'm going to make a guess here, it's that they're probably going to go right back down to a few thousand. Because it's just kind of boring.
It is.
Look, I've watched a lot.
Yeah, of course. It was probably
subathons.
staged.
I've lived it.
You're
and
correct.
that's kind of the same idea. Generally, it's like just boring ass shit. The extra hours aren't the good hours. There's a good reason people end the stream and eat, in shit, in sleep. Because that's not the fun part to watch. Shitting would be cool, but you can't do that. But you get my point. So we'll see if they bring back the exact same thing. But that's the Phase 1 challenge. Millions of dollars for an insane idea with middling results. Good luck going public, FaZe. I don't have a lot of faith, but hey, I'll get one stock. It can't go worse than crypto.
So that's pretty much the video. I mean, the title's a little misleading. FaZe Clan is going bankrupt. Just because you refiled doesn't mean you're going bankrupt. The technical thing for how you go bankrupt is you can't pay off your liabilities, meaning you have a lot of debt, you can't pay it off. So you have to file for bankruptcy, which essentially gives you a restart. There have been a number of companies that file for bankruptcy. A number of companies, despite, here we'll go back to when you show the financial statements.
Productions.
Despite having no EBITDA, no net revenue, there have been tons of companies that go on to grow out of that. It's when you're young that happens. Tesla, for God knows how many years, almost their entire public company life, except for a couple of years ago, never made any money. Amazon, for the longest time, never made any money. You can be a public company and not go bankrupt. You can be a private company and not go bankrupt for years without having any profits. It's because as long as you can keep getting influxes of money to go and pay off your debts and to keep your debts paid and ongoing, you can tread water for years. And just because they refiled because they lost a lot of money on this particular project doesn't mean that they're going bankrupt or they're not filing. Now, in the background, I have heard the filing may not happen, the SPAC may not happen, and potentially the CEO of FaZe is on the chopping block. I've heard that. But in reality, one of the big things is that Phase 1 was a big test for them. And like for this whole big, like I said in their filing, they have this whole thing about, hey, we're going to make all these big productions. We're trying to get into more kind of live stream, like vlog, but like as a show content, stepping away from just some of the content they've put on their YouTube page into like bigger productions. So this was probably a test to go and see, one, does the live stream aspect happen and does it work? It doesn't when you have 24 hours on this. It should have been cut up and probably edited, and they should make a series out of it. That may be happening. I mean, what was it, a month or something like that, or 20 days that they were live streaming for 24 hours? The amount of footage that they have is ridiculous. So it's probably going to happen later on. But yeah, I think the title's misleading. I think Ludwig's doing it for the clicks. Not that he needs them. It's one of Ludwig's channels. He doesn't have a background in finance or anything like that, so some of his claims are meh. But I mean, he's a better streamer than I'll ever be. So, and it's an interesting take. I mean, yeah, I think he brings up a good point of if FaZe is going to go and try and do some of the stuff, they shouldn't have done it this way. It was probably a test. No reason not to go and test it. But yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, like I said, I came across this doing some more research into FaZe because I want to do a series on like how they make money, how the esports industry makes money. If you guys want to see that, let me know.